Long-awaited military assistance for Israel, Ukraine, and Taiwan will finally get a vote on the House floor tomorrow. Democrats bailed out Republicans, bringing it close to the finish line.
Here we are once again. We just passed a rule with predominantly Democrat votes. The bill, I believe, will also be predominantly Democrat votes tomorrow. That does not reflect the intention or the desire of the American people when they gave us the House majority.
I think after this, what do we really have to do the rest of the year? I think we could all go home until September 30th.
Joining us now, Democratic Congressman of Florida, Jared Moskowitz, a member of the Foreign Affairs and Oversight Committees. So you're there, you're in the middle of it, Congressman. Thank you for joining us, by the way. Where are we right now?
Well, thanks for having me. Where we are is we just passed the rule a couple hours ago on the House floor. This allows us tomorrow to get to the underlying bills on Ukraine, on Israel, on humanitarian aid for Gaza and some other humanitarian crises around the world, and then the TikTok bill, the Repo Act, and some other Iran legislation. There are 4 bills. We will vote on those tomorrow and then send those over to the Senate. This is substantially similar to what the Senate did. We're just doing it in a process where we take separate votes. But remember how we got here. We could have done this months ago. We could have done Israel aid in October when Speaker Johnson became Speaker, but he delayed that. He tied it to the IRS and killed the bill. We could have done Ukraine 2 months ago when the Senate sent over their bill. They have played politics with this. That being said, I am happy that Speaker Johnson has found his voice, his will. But make no mistake about it, Hakeem Jeffries said that this was either a Chamberlain or Churchill moment. And Hakeem Jeffries has led Democrats to make this a Churchill moment. And we are going to deliver this over the finish line for the American people to send a message to our allies that you can still depend on America so that China and Russia can stop taking advantage.
Let me ask you a procedural question. 4 bills. What if 2 or 3 of them pass? Do those go over, or do all 4 have to pass for them to go over to the Senate?
Yeah, I think the way it'll work is that the way they've done this rule is whatever passes gets put together and sent over. So I don't think it all has to pass together, but it will all pass together tomorrow. At least the 3 underlying bills of Israel, Ukraine, humanitarian aid. That will pass together. You know, whether you know the sidecar bill has to pass to go over, I don't think that's the case.
So should we take your caucus getting behind this as a sign the party doesn't intend to let Speaker Johnson get removed if a motion to vacate is triggered by the response that he's had now? I mean, I know you've personally said you'd help Johnson, but do you think many of your other colleagues would?
Well, I think what you should look is that Democrats and Republicans are working together for the American people. This is what the American voter wants. This is what the general election voter wants. This is what independents want, is Democrats and Republicans working together for the American people. Maybe that's what the primary voter doesn't want, right? The gerrymandered district doesn't want, but this is what the American people want. So we're doing it together to show the world and our allies that we can stand up with them and that we can still be America and still lead the world, rather than becoming isolationist and allowing China and Russia to fill that void. As far as what will happen to Mike Johnson, I've been consistent. I think my colleagues are probably there as well. There's just no way we're turning this place over to Marjorie Taylor Greene. I mean, right now the band of brothers is Marjorie Taylor Greene, Thomas Massie, and Gosar, like the 3 little pigs. I mean, it's just ridiculous. These folks would let Putin take Europe. They would let the Ayatollah from Iran take Israel. They're not interested in America leading. They say it's America first. They want America last. They want China first and Russia first, because that's what their foreign policy would give us.
There are a couple of different sets of stakes, right? The immediate one that you've already mentioned. Can our allies say that America stands by its commitments? Does America support democracies? That's that. There's the political part of this as well. And Marjorie Taylor Greene doesn't have to worry about her district, right? But there are plenty of people who do. And control of the House is up for grabs in November. Does this help the Democrats? Does it hurt the Democrats because people look and say there's just chaos and they finally got something done, but it's chaos? What's the politics of this as you see it, Congressman?
Well, Congress's approval rating is like 18%, right? So we all get lumped in all get lumped into that. But I think the American people are going to see that Democrats are interested in leading. Democrats are interested in working together. Democrats will work across the aisle. My colleagues, my Republican colleagues in the 118th Congress have shown the American people that they're not interested in doing anything for them. They're just interested in chaos. Let's see what the historic Congress of the 118th has done. Let's see, we removed a speaker. That's never happened in American history. We impeached a cabinet secretary with no evidence. That hasn't happened in 150 years. We threw out a member in George Santos. That hadn't happened in 20 years. I mean, that's not helping the American people. That's just the chaos that's up here. We had a bipartisan border bill that was negotiated in the Senate. We could have done something on the southern border. They then helped kill that, the chaos members in the House. And so the 118th Congress, this is our moment. This is our moment to show the American people that Congress can still work. I applaud Speaker Johnson and Hakeem Jeffries working together. That's what our Americans want to see. That's the message we need to send to our allies. And that's also the message we need to send to our enemies, that all the propaganda from Russia and China and Iran that they have sold over here to the American people, we're not going to let them win. We're going to stand by our allies, not just Ukraine and Israel. We're going to stand by all our allies. That is the message here.
Representative Jared Moskowitz, thank you so much. We appreciate you taking the time.
Thank you.